Good morning. So, the Harvey Weinstein case, it was supposed to be a slam dunk, right? The prosecutors were like, oh, he's going to be found guilty. He's going to go to prison for the rest of his life. Well, he was found guilty, but the jurors weren't like 100% all in for the prosecution. And that gives me a little bit of hope because, look, before everybody starts putting their thumbs up and says, oh, political Paula is anti-woman, she doesn't stick with her gender like she's supposed to. Well, no, I don't. And one of the reasons that a lot of you like my show, especially on YouTube, is because I don't always side with a woman who cries rape, especially when she cries rape 30 years after the fact, had a personal relationship with the man, and also wanted something from him that didn't pan out. And so 30 years later, or I don't side with women who take a payout to keep their mouths shut. Now, let me just say, Harvey Weinstein is a pig. He's a misogynistic, arrogant, rich, powerful asshole. And he used that power to get women who would never have looked at him a second glance to suck his dick and to fuck him. That was the bottom line. That is who Harvey Weinstein is. My issue with a lot of these accusers is that after they allege he raped them, they went back for more. And that's the difference right there. I listened to the transcripts. I read what was said in court. I read the cross-examination of these accusers. And at the end of the day, one thing really struck out at me is, except for Annabella Sciorra, who I know from Law and Order, Criminal Intent, and from Sopranos, I don't know any of these other accusers' names. Now that's important because what happened is Harvey Weinstein told them, if you suck my dick or you let me fuck you, you'll be the next Meryl Streep. I will make you famous. I will make you wealthy. Well, the fact that I don't know any of these women's names means he didn't give the quo for the quid pro quo. Suck my dick, I'll make you the next Gwyneth Paltrow. Let me fuck you and you'll be the next Meryl Streep. You'll get nominated for, you'll be rich. You'll get millions of dollars per movie. The fact that I don't know these people means that he didn't give them what they expected after they had sex with him. Now look, really think about this. And believe me, if you are the parent of a young man or a young girl, you need to start educating them, because this is what you should not do if you are a man. You should not ever tell a woman, especially in 2020, since the Me Too movement is a revolution, you should never tell a woman, if you fuck me, I'll get you a job. That's really bad, and it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. And if you are a woman and some guy says to you, if you suck my dick, I'll make you famous, walk out. None of these women ever said they were tied up, gagged, imprisoned in any way. None of them were dragged into a hotel room. They went voluntarily. And they held their nose and sucked his dick, and then he never called them back because he forgot about them the second he was done with them. He wasn't going to make them famous. He didn't care. That's where he made his mistake. If he had made them famous, well, you might not have been hearing about this. Sometimes it was the top story before the coronavirus this past week or two. Harvey Weinstein trial. Harvey Weinstein found guilty on some charges, but not all of them. Now look, I myself am a victim of rape, but when I was raped, I did not consider myself a rape victim, and here's why. And I've said this on this show before. It was my boss, and he was very careful. because he had the opportunity to have sex with me a year before he raped me. And it would have been completely consensual because I had a crush on him. Everybody in the office, when he became general manager of our company, knew I had a crush on him. I wanted to be his girlfriend. I did not agree to be raped. But we went on a business trip together. We had separate hotel rooms, but I was like, ooh, this is going to be great. He's going to, I'm going to flirt with him. He's going to make love to me. Again, I was 22 years old. Read a lot of romance novels back then. Got over that real quick. At the end of the day, he was nothing but a complete gentleman on the business trip. He waited until I was leaving the company to start a new job. And at my going away party at the company that I had worked for maybe 4 or 5 years, he called me into his office, slammed me across his desk, and sodomized me. It was humiliating. That wasn't exactly what I had in mind, because I really wanted to, maybe date him, go to dinner, have him make love to me. Well, that didn't happen. Now, look, I never reported it as rape. I didn't consider it rape because I felt that I was responsible. I took responsibility. The fact that I sent him all the signals that I wanted to fuck him. What he didn't get, or what he did get and didn't care, was that I didn't just want to have sex with him. I wanted to be his girlfriend. I really liked him. I thought he was smart. He was gorgeous. I thought he was good looking. And it's bizarre. But I never even thought to accuse him of raping me. But here's something I didn't do, and this is how I am different from the accusers of Harvey Weinstein. After he sodomized me, humiliated me, made me bleed, gave me a lot of pain, I walked out of that office and I never saw him again. I never contacted him again. I certainly didn't give him my new phone number or my work number. I didn't try to contact him, try to see him, and I certainly didn't tell him I wanted him to meet my mother. And yet these so-called victims of Harvey Weinstein did all of that. He took them to a hotel room. He allegedly raped them. They were traumatized and horribly hurt. They walk out of that hotel room. He doesn't contact them. He doesn't stalk them. There's no evidence of that. They keep contacting him. They sign their emails. Much love. Harvey, I just changed my phone number. Here's my new number in case you want to call me. Harvey, my mom's in town. I'd love for you to meet my mom. What rape victim wants to introduce their mother to their rapist? I mean, come on, that doesn't pass the smell test. I mean, really? These women went back into a hotel room with Harvey Weinstein for a repeat performance of what happened before. What did they think was going to happen? They go into a hotel room, they're raped. Okay, that I buy. You can call that rape. But when you go back to another hotel room with your rapist, what do you think is going to happen? He's going to sing Kumbaya and give you the role of a lifetime and you're going to be rich and famous and the next Meryl Streep? I don't think so. He just wants you to suck his dick again. Because that's what Harvey Weinstein did. He wasn't a good-looking, suave kind of guy. In fact, he's a pig. He's ugly, he's fat, he's disgusting. Who would want to fuck him on purpose? But he had something these women wanted. They wanted a career. They wanted fame. They wanted to be rich. They wanted that Oscar nomination like Meryl and Gwyneth got. Only difference is Gwyneth and Meryl didn't have to suck his dick to do it because they had talent. And I'm not trying to be rude here, but like I said, you never heard of these women after Harvey supposedly raped them, made them suck his dick, promised them a job, and then never called them back. And I'm sorry, I think a jury needs to take that into consideration. When you read these emails, you read these texts, you read the fact that these women went back and had relationships with this man. Who writes to their rapist saying, much love? Not me. I certainly never contacted my rapist again. He never got prosecuted because, again, I took responsibility because I led him on. He knew I wanted to be with him, and he didn't want to be with me the way I wanted it, but he thought, oh, well, I get laid. That's what Harvey Weinstein wanted. He wanted beautiful young women to fuck him. And because he didn't have the looks or the charisma or the charm to get them to do it voluntarily, he had to offer them something they wanted and would do anything for. And that's where, parents, you need to start educating your women. I hope that in 2020, young girls know that if anybody says, I'll give you a job if you suck my dick, that your young girls will be smart enough to say no, run, and report them. Don't go into a conference room with a bunch of lawyers and take money. Report their ass so they don't do it to somebody else. So that's simple. And in this day and age, believe me, you will be believed because they believe any woman now. And I have reported on this for almost 3 years now. I have done stories about women who did lie and ruin a man's life because he didn't call them back after they had sex with him. They claimed he raped them, and then after he spent 5 years in jail, they said, oh my God, I lied. I was embarrassed because I had sex with him. These are real cases where young men have lost their careers, their college education. They've spent time in prison because a woman lied. And every time one of these cases comes up where the woman made it up and lied about being sexually assaulted, and when Jussie Smollett, who's going to be back in court now, lies about being attacked for his sexuality and the color of his skin, it hurts every true victim. Every victim who is truly attacked, viciously raped, beaten, or even date raped by someone they trust, and they report it. There's going to be questions, because I have questions as a woman. Why would someone who claims to have been so traumatized, who claims to have done the deed with Harvey and then gone and thrown up after, why would they continue to make sure he had their updated contact information, offer to introduce him to their mother, and sign their emails, much love? Hey, remember me? Oh, come on up to the hotel room. I have a script you might want to see. Okay. Not okay. Why would you do that? It's like, rape me once. Why would I go back for a repeat of performance? I mean, I don't want to say this out loud, but were these girls that stupid? Well, maybe he's got a really good role this time, but I have to fuck him twice to get it. Let me just say to all the women out there who are probably hating me right now for even saying these things. A job interview does not include a blowjob. A job interview is usually not given in a hotel room where it's just you and a filthy, fat, sick old man and nobody else is around. That's not a job interview, folks. That's him looking at you like a prostitute. I'll give you a job if you suck my dick. I know it's not a pretty dick, but suck it, you'll get a job. Don't suck it, you'll never work. That's not a job interview. That's rape. And it's illegal, by the way. But what you don't do is you don't do the deed, walk out of the room, not report it, or then go and say, hey, this wasn't right. How much you want to pay me to not talk about it? See, if I can't get a job from you, then I'm going to get money from you. Because to me, I said it before, that's no better than saying I'm a prostitute. If I let you fuck me against my will and I don't want to have sex with you and I do it anyway, and then I come back at you after you don't give me a job and say, well, if you don't give me money at least, I'm going to ruin your life. I'm going to report this. I'm going to talk about it. A lot of women took his money to keep quiet. Maybe they were ashamed. They should have been. I would have been. And at 22, I wasn't strong enough. And maybe these young women, they were young. They weren't strong enough either. But you know what? It's been a lot of years since I was raped. I'm 55 now, so 22, 55, I'm not good at math, but it's been a lot of years, 33 years. And you know what? I'm not going to go back and accuse this guy of rape. I know his name. I know where he last lived. For all I know, he's dead. Again, I didn't keep in touch because most rape victims don't keep in touch with their rapists. And that's my whole point of the show. But we really have to start educating men and women. And we have to especially tell women that it is never okay for a man to expect you to spread your legs or suck his dick for a job. That's not a job interview. That's sexual assault. That's sexual abuse. That is sexual harassment. But what you never do is you don't continue a relationship with him. You don't have him over for dinner with mom and dad. And you don't keep calling him, emailing him, texting him. Hey, remember me from the hotel the other night? Yeah, I threw up after I sucked your dick, but, I'd really much love and everything for you. Nothing but love for you, but, I'm really looking for that job you promised me after I, did that horrible, disgusting thing that made me vomit. Don't I get something for that? Ooh, a check for a couple $1,000,000? Okay, I'll take that. And then 20 years later, oh yeah, he raped me. Oh, I'm sorry. And you know what? The jury didn't buy that either. The one thing they did not convict on was the fact that the 30-year-old case with Annabella Sciorra they found him not guilty. And I think that was smart. The jury really did listen. They weren't out to hang Harvey Weinstein. Of course, he's still probably going to spend the rest of his life in prison if he doesn't die in the hospital. I mean, the minute they put handcuffs on him, he collapsed. And like I said, he's a pig. He's a horrible person. He's a predator. But guilty of forcible rape, well, I'm not sure if you promise somebody a famous career, an Oscar award, if you promise someone something for doing something they're not thrilled about doing, but they're going to do it anyway, and they actually agree to do it, I'm not sure if that's rape. And I'm actually not even sure it's a crime, unless the woman reports it as such. And that's what these women did not do. They did the deed. They expected to be paid for it with a great job and with fame and awards like the other actresses that Weinstein had made famous. And when that didn't happen, they went back for more to try again. Remember me? Here's my new phone number. Much love. Missed you. Haven't talked to you for a while. Remember me? I want to be in your next movie. Come up to my hotel room, baby. We'll talk about it. Okay. Really? That's really not a crime to me. To me, that is a consensual relationship where the woman wants something from Harvey Weinstein, and he's telling her what she has to do to get it. And it became a crime when he didn't come through, because what he was interested in was getting laid by beautiful young women. Women he couldn't get on his own merits, so he had to offer them a carrot to do it. And the carrot was fame and fortune in the movie business. He had something they wanted, he used it to his advantage, and they fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. And they not only fell for it once, they went back for more afterward. And now in America today, 30 years later, we're calling that a crime, for which he may spend the rest of his life in prison. After he already paid them. Some of them he paid a lot. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Harvey Weinstein verdict, the trial, and I'm also not a fan of Harvey Weinstein. But as always, political Paula tries to be fair. When I was raped, I took the responsibility that I felt was on me for sending signals to my rapist that I wanted to fuck him. And he made sure that he took advantage of those signals. And then, of course, never saw him again. But I take responsibility. And I think we have to train our young girls, teach our young girls, that it's never okay to have sex with someone because you want something from them and they promise to give it to you. Number one, they're probably not going to give it to you. And number two, it makes you as guilty as the person who's taking advantage of you. Can't wait for the comments. Political Paula is out.